Hey, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Caleb. So, this morning we're going to talk a little bit about paying off debt. But first and foremost, I want to say Happy Flannel Friday. Just kidding, every day is a great day for flannel. So, I got the idea for today's video from a good friend of mine, and her husband were trying to decide what to do with their stimulus check. So, they have the $1,200 that they want to decide if they should put towards paying off a couch that they own, that they owe $1,800 on at 0% interest, or towards student loans. So let's talk about how to do that. Now, before this gets out of hand with the husband and wife questions, I just want you to know I'm not a marriage counselor. You can ask my wife; she'll verify that. So just keep that in mind. But please keep the questions coming. So when it comes to paying off debt, there's a couple different ways you can do it. So one of those is to pay the highest interest debt off first. Other is debt consolidation or using a management company. And then third, we've got pay the smallest debt, like the amount of debt, and then work towards the largest. Any of those paths can work, but first you have to make sure you stop adding to the debt. That's rule number one of any scenario. Paying off debt and financial success as a general is not easy. It takes hard work. So keep that in mind. No matter what you do, if you want to achieve some sort of a financial success, it takes dedication and hard work. When I start working on budgets and helping people with situations such as this, I want to look at the whole picture, right? So what other debts are there? What's the overall big picture? They have plans to buy a home or maybe refinance. What's the credit score like? Like, do we need to work on that, sort of paying off the debt more? What kind of other debt is there? So is there personal loans, like from a friend or family member? What's the relationship like? Do we need to prioritize that to save the relationship? And what I mean with that too is that money doesn't have emotions, but we do. So we need to address that and make sure we're using that as a tool in our arsenal and our finances. And in debt, we need to look at it emotionally as well, because what is debt? It means we owe somebody something. That's a burden to us. It brings us down. It doesn't feel good. So when we start paying off debt, we want to feel good. We want to make achievable goals and celebrate the little victories so that we can build up to medium and to larger victories so that it's fun and it's something we want to do. When paying off debt, I don't expect people to just cut off their lifestyle and attack it like a tiger. We want to be able to focus and keep a good steady pace. So the tortoise wins the race, right? And if this was all about just math, then we probably wouldn't be in a situation either where we're worried about various debts. Now, with a couple I'm giving an example of, I don't know the full details, so we're a little bit hindered in that sense. But I ultimately am going to recommend start with the smallest amount of debt first, and then work your way up, right? So we can start getting those victories and feeling good. And then there's multiple reasons for that. One, it's a plan that people can follow. But another reason I found is that because from working on this with people, is I found that money shows up, whether it's money from friends or family, or overtime at work, or tax refund, or stimulus check in this case. Money shows up throughout life. So if we're enjoying paying off debt or feeling successful about it, we're going to want to continue to do that and make good choices. So when that money enters, we're like, oh yeah, let's pay off some more debt because I enjoy doing it, and you feel better about doing it. Whereas opposed to sometimes when we take the route which mathematically makes the most sense of paying the highest interest rate first, or anything that has interest first, that feels like a chore and it's harder for people to follow. So if we create a plan that someone can't follow, that's a plan to fail. So that's what I mean why we're going to use emotions as our tool, because ultimately the end goal is to eliminate the debt. How we get there can change, but we need to make sure it happens. The other benefit to us paying down the couch in this scenario for them is I'll probably put them in a position to be pretty much without payments or very close to without payments. And that allows them to start building up their emergency fund. And that's important too, because if we have an emergency fund and we can start saving for that, that gives us the opportunity to protect ourselves in the future. And what I mean is emergencies happen. So whether it's the furnace going out, the hot water heater, transmission on the car, whatever that can happen, well, if we have cash on hand, great. Now we can use that cash to pay for it as opposed to putting it on the credit card. And now look, here we are again, starting the debt cycle. So I hope that kind of made sense, and I hope you had a little fun with me. Thanks for saying hi, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Remember, we're all in this together. So if you got any ideas, comments, or suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. Bye.